Hello and welcome to this edition of the Potomac Local News Podcast. I'm your host, Uriah Kaiser, founder and publisher of Potomac Local News. We're entering our 15th year of providing local news for Prince William, Stafford, Fredericksburg, Manassas, and Manassas Park. We couldn't be more excited to do it. On today's podcast, we'll be talking with Don Pannell from Prince William Water. And our discussion was prompted from recent events in Richmond where a snowstorm caused water outages for days due to a massive infrastructure failure that made national headlines. And so what we wanted to know is could something like that in Virginia, in Richmond, Virginia, happen here in Northern Virginia where we are? So we talked about the focus on the water system reliability and its emphasis on emergency preparedness to make sure that things like that don't happen in our area. But Pannell did say what happened in Richmond has the industry talking. So we'll get into our interview in just a moment. But first, we ask that if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and share this video so more people get local news in their feeds and you see more of the local news content that we post. Over on our website, PotomacLocalNews.com, we send out a daily email newsletter to more than 18,000 recipients with community news and information that many look forward to every day. If you want to get that for free, go to our website, PotomacLocalNews.com, click on newsletter, and then sign up for free. Our conversation with Don Pannell at Prince William Water was interesting because it's not only Richmond we're talking about, we're also talking about the water needs in our area with all the massive growth of data centers and what their needs are and how it is affecting the water system and the folks at Prince William Water and others who supply it. We also talked about Prince William Water's $700 million capital improvement plan that aims to upgrade its system over the next 5 years. Customers will be paying for that in the form of a rate hike, which we also talked about. The interview was interesting and eye-opening, and let's get into it. Don Pannell at Prince William Water. Well, Don, thanks for coming on the Potomac Local News Podcast. You know, as we look at what happened in Richmond, where several people in the city and in the surrounding counties were without water for at least 6 days, following the first big snowstorm that we had here in Virginia just after the first of the year. My first inclination was like, wow, that's a pretty big deal. It was a big enough deal to halt the operation or the start of the General Assembly session for the state lawmakers to have to come to Richmond, convene briefly, and then go home, and then come back a few days later over the weekend. After the weekend was through, they got the water turned back on. But everyone wants to know, could something like that happen here in Northern Virginia, specifically in Prince William County, where you guys are, to our water system?
It's a great question, and it's an important topic, and I appreciate the opportunity to share Prince William Water's story and perspective. So thanks for this opportunity. I'm really thankful. We understand at Prince William Water that emergency preparedness and response is a core part of the business. You know, it's not something that just happens when an emergency happens. It's something we are thinking about 365 days a year. So I think that really guides how we prepare and respond when emergencies occur. Of course, we've got extensive standard operating procedures, checklists, emergency preparedness plans that we review on a routine basis throughout the year. A real underpinning of any of those emergency preparedness activities is a really strong preventive maintenance program. The water business is reliant on an extensive amount of infrastructure. You know, you probably know we have at Prince William Water 2,500 miles of pipes, over 80 pump stations, which are full of mechanical equipment, and nearly 100 generators, emergency standby generators. All that equipment requires attention and maintenance so that it's there when the emergency happens. Speaking a little more specifically to a winter storm like we had last week here in Virginia, Northern Virginia, we're watching the weather forecast. That's part of our daily operation. We were preparing for that winter storm 6 days prior to the weather hitting our area. So we're pulling out our emergency preparedness plans. We're setting our staffing plans. We're performing additional equipment checks. We're making sure we've got fuel. I mean, it's an extensive operation. It takes a commitment of a large number of people. And that's just, like I said, that's the core part of the business. We understand that. And so we've committed the right resources to it.
Yeah, this thing in Richmond started with a power outage, and then the pump went down, and it looked like it just had a domino effect on Richmond's system. I've been around a while, and and through power outages and storms and winter storms and hurricanes and tropical storms that we've seen here, we've never seen something like this happen in our area. Thank goodness. And so I mean, so what's the talk here? Is this because of, aging infrastructure? Is this, I mean, you alluded to the fact you guys do a lot of preventive maintenance to make sure your infrastructure is up to speed. And you watch the weather to make sure you know what's coming in. But I mean, obviously, what happened in Richmond has got to have this industry talking about how to prevent something like this from happening where you are.
Absolutely. We're using any crisis that another water utility is experiencing. We're using that as an opportunity for lessons learned and for simulations in our system. We have numerous times simulated major power outages. That has guided a lot of our planning efforts. That's a big reason we have 100% generator backup on all of our facilities here. Even so, we simulate power outage scenarios, and even if we think the chance of that happening to us, because we do have a very robust grid and generator backup, we still simulate, well, what if A and B and C and D all occur? How will we respond? One of the an image that stuck in my mind that I'm really excited about was a handful of years ago when I visited a maintenance center, and a group of frontline technicians were sitting around the conference room with a map out, talking about, well, what if this pipe breaks and this pump station were down and there was someone had inadvertently closed a valve here? How would we adjust the system and maintain service to our customers? So back to your point, yes, this kind of scenario absolutely has the industry talking. It's not alarming to us because emergencies happen, and we frankly have it's just part of our baked into our business processes to simulate emergency scenarios and think through alternatives in response.
So let's say that something were to happen, something like this, how many customers could possibly be affected? And I guess what I'm asking you to describe is your service footprint in Prince William County and who you serve and just the amount of customers that you're responsible for to make sure water comes out of that tap when it's turned on.
Yeah, appreciate that. So we have 99,000 accounts. So customer accounts. So think about a meter that's serving a location, 99,000 accounts. We serve over 300,000 people in Prince William County. And, that also covers a number of important commercial facilities and government facilities. We understand we are absolutely critical infrastructure, and without the water service that we provide, the community just can't function. I want to make sure you hear it because it's part of what we talk about a lot. We have an internal metric for our water system reliability that we set many years ago. Commonly, we refer to the 5 nines. So we have a commitment to 99.999% water system reliability, and I'm really proud to say we've achieved that metric every year since we put that in place. We have an immense responsibility. We have a very large customer base and growing customer base, and the day-to-day lives of the customers and of the businesses in our area are dependent on the service we provide.
Now, is there one thing that you could look to when you're looking at Richmond and what happened? And the industry is obviously, as you said, talking about this. Is there one thing that you could say, yeah, that happened in Richmond, but up here at Prince William Water, we're a little different because? Is there anything that differentiates between the Richmond situation and the infrastructure we have in Prince William County?
I'm not intimately familiar with the circumstances in Richmond. I'm reading the reports that you're reading, obviously. I'll just say the region, the Northern Virginia region, does benefit from a long history of cooperation. We have interrelated water systems and cooperative agreements between water utilities. In Prince William, we have an extremely close relationship with Fairfax Water, just north of us. And we collaborate together on planning exercises. We work together on infrastructure projects that are beneficial. One project that we just completed, which was an absolutely important infrastructure project, was what we call the Occoquan Crossing. 2 new water mains were installed from Fairfax County into Prince William County to serve eastern Prince William County. Both pipes are fully capable to carry our entire demand, so there's full redundancy in those pipes, and that was identified out of collaborative work and scenario planning. That hey, we have a potential risk here in this section of our infrastructure. Let's work together and construct infrastructure that's appropriate to maintain service.
Yeah, so the water that serves the eastern Prince William County comes from the Occoquan Reservoir, does it not?
That's correct.
And then for your customers in the western part of the county, does it come from, I don't want to screw this up, but UOSA, the Upper Occoquan Service Authority? Is there another reservoir further up the Occoquan River that serves the western part of Prince William County?
Going to have to invite you to our water academy so that you can get all the ins and outs on our water system. Actually, our customers in western Prince William County, the water supply for western Prince William County is the Potomac River and Lake Manassas.
Lake Manassas, okay.
Yeah, Lake Manassas and the Potomac River. So the majority of the water actually comes from the Potomac River, treated in Fairfax County and delivered along Route 28, essentially. And then we also have a great relationship and a long-term contract with the city of Manassas to purchase water from Lake Manassas.
So we did some reporting. I believe it was late last year. I think there was a presentation given to the Board of County Supervisors talking about the water quality, talking about some things that they need to be looking out for. I know we've talked in the years past about PFAS, particulates in the water. So, and you just alluded to the fact you have an academy that people can come to and learn about the water. So, how can people get more plugged in to the water system that serves them?
Wow. We're certainly pushing a lot of information out through social media, and we love to have interaction with our customers and love for opportunities to educate our customers about their water supply and their water system. The Water Academy runs in the summertime. It's a three segment session. You really do get a great introduction to what your water utility is all about and how it works. We host community groups all the time where we give them tours at our wastewater treatment plant, as well as inform them about any topics that may be of interest. Certainly keep an eye on our website. We're constantly putting fresh content on our website, princewilliamwater.org, princewilliamwater.org.
And that Prince William Water is a new one too, because you guys recently changed over from the Service Authority, which we've known for many years, and now it's Prince William Water. So for anybody listening in and wondering what's this Prince William Water, it's the new name for the Prince William County Service Authority.
That's exactly right, and I think that builds on your question earlier. How do people find out more about their water system? And through the feedback we collected in the past, the previous title, Prince William County Service Authority, maybe didn't communicate with our customers what we did, and we feel like Prince William Water does a better job more quickly of letting people who interact with it understand, hey, we're the water provider.
Yeah. One of the things that we reported on back, I talked about that report we did back in December when General Manager Calvin Farr came before the board and he was talking about the water and the scenario. So what he was talking about is he was saying there's adequate water supply through 2040 is what he reported to the board. But it's something to watch because we have data centers coming online and more people moving to this area, and water is a finite resource. And so that's why I appreciate you coming on and having these conversations and helping us to educate our neighbors as to who, not just who provides the water, but where it comes from. Yeah. And especially when they read this stuff and they see the stuff on TV, it's happening right here in Virginia. And you got to wonder, could that ever happen here? And I think anything's possible, but it's good to know that you guys are doing the maintenance and are on top of it. And it sounds like the industry's talking about this now. So the spotlight's on.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've used the word infrastructure a few times, and we understand, and I think the public is starting to understand, and our customers are understanding that water systems, water and wastewater systems both, are critical infrastructure. They require a lot of maintenance. They require attention, professional attention. You've also done some reporting recently. We recently enacted a rate increase for our service, and that's something we take very seriously. But it's really important to understand that to maintain the infrastructure and provide the level of maintenance and the level of quality that our customers expect and that we expect to provide to them requires resources. And, I think you understand we're fully funded by our ratepayers. So there are times when we have to enact rate increases to make sure we support our capital improvement programs to renew infrastructure that's aged. We have a $700 million capital improvement plan over the next 5 years. It takes significant investment to maintain the infrastructure.
Don Pannell is with Prince William Water, and I can't thank him enough for coming on the Potomac Local News podcast and educating us again on this important topic.